that takes away the time that I have allotted for my family, and so the family always becomes second in my pursuit to do things right.
Good. And it's good because it's very clear. There's no question that if I said, hey, Prasad right now, one of his challenges that he's facing right now is that he wants to spend more time with his family. He feels that he's a and it draws him away from quality time with his family. I think if I approached 100 people, they'd all know exactly what your challenge is. So it's very clear, and that's important. It can't be something like, oh, I just want to feel good. That means different things to different people. Now, let's take that and just throw a how in front of it for me. State your problem and put a how in it. In other words, how will I, and you finish it, how will I turn your problem into a question? Yeah. Go ahead.
How will I, should it be how will I, or can I say how can I change?
Either way.
Okay. What do I need to change to be able to spend more time with my family?
How can you spend more time with your family?
Okay.
And we're talking about your kids, right?
Yes.
How can you spend more time with your kids? Okay, good. All right. So, what do you need to do right now to achieve that result? Name one thing that you can do right now to achieve that result.
Be a little more disciplined when I say I have to stop. When I set aside a time to be with them, to make sure that I stick with it.
Be more specific. Something that if you described it to 100 different people, they'd know exactly what you're going to do to achieve that result.
Okay. Usually I have it on my calendar to spend dinner time with them every single night, and spend about an hour with them during the dinner and after dinner. So usually it's between 7 to 8 o'clock. And I do have some conference calls or phone calls or some business meetings that get extended. And it's always, I can always do that later. I can spend time with them later on, 8:30, 9 o'clock. So it always gets pushed back. And before you know it, they have homeworks, they go to bed, and so it never happens. So it seems to be a trend that I need to break through. And more disciplined when something else comes along the line, I need to be able to say, no, this is my family time. I cannot do this. We need to push it to tomorrow. So that discipline is what is lacking.
Okay. So now I know you a little bit because I've worked with you. We've had some really good phone calls together. But share with me and the group here what your greatest personal strength or character is.
Say that again, Chris. This greatest what?
What is your greatest personal strength, your greatest personal characteristic? What's one thing about you, and everyone's got at least one thing that you're really strong about, that you're really good at?
I think I'm very creative. That's a quality, but I don't know if that's what you were asking me. Help me through, is that what you are looking for?
No, I'm not looking for anything. The answer is you have on here. So one of your greatest strengths, is one of your greatest strengths being creative?
Yes.
Okay. It's a great strength to have, by the way. So if we can leverage your strength of being creative, how can we leverage that to figure out how you can create more discipline so you can create more time with your kids, which is one of your biggest challenges right now?
One thing, as you mentioned, I think I perhaps need to change the perspective because I cannot address the limiting beliefs that I have within the same perspective I have. and that is changing my perspective and priority and thinking, um, what's more important to me is can my children wait? I mean, what I'm saying is in 2 or 3 years they'll be off to colleges, so I'll never get a chance to spend any more time with them once they're off to college. But whereas a business meeting, if it is not done this evening, I can always do it tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, but I can never. So I think I need to change my perspective here and understand what the priority is and follow the priorities. I have to decide and then commit to it and then follow through on it. Again, having integrity in the moment of choice. When I have the choice, should I take this phone call or go on with the business meeting, or should I have dinner with my children? That integrity in the moment of choice is what is lacking right now. And so I think I need to change my perspective and see what's important. It's not what's urgent that should be driving me. It's what's important that should be driving me.
Good. So what can you do? How can you leverage your strength, your creativity, so that you can find time to spend with your children? I can feel that you already see the benefits of spending more time with your kids, and you know that pretty soon they're going to be out of the house. So what can you do now to ensure that happens?
It's again discipline and follow through, Chris.
What kind of discipline exactly? Like you're writing the manual. Exactly what kind of discipline?
Shutting off all the distractions that, perhaps turning off the phone or my BlackBerry and my computer or email. These are the ones through which I get interrupted. So perhaps turning those things off could help.
Could you do that?
Yes, I can do that. Yes.
So can you turn off your BlackBerry, your email, for a particular set of time every night of the week? And just so you're not distracted to spend with your kids, helping them with homework or just hanging out with them or just something unstructured for an hour?
Yes.
Okay. Can I make a request of you?
Please.
Based on what you've told me, I would like to see you turn off your BlackBerry, your cell phone, and the distractions an hour in the evening when you're with your family so that you can stay focused with your family. Can you do that?
I promise you, Chris, I'll do that starting tomorrow.
Outstanding. Very good. Very good. Does anybody want to add any comments? It's very brave what you did, by the way. It's very scary to come up and do that in front of a group. So I thank you for that. I learned from you. I know others did too. Does anybody on the phone call want to make any comments?
I would, Chris, if I may.
Please. Marty,
Okay. Yes,
our surprise guest.
Hi. Do you mind? Is it okay?
Hi, Marty.
One of the things that I heard Chris mention is that one of your gifts is also your creativity. So I think I'm trying to do it without just telling you what to do. Have you ever considered also using your creativity to create something exciting in what you would like that evening or that hour to be with your children? Could you vision that? Could you see it? Could you see the fun rather than making it a chore? Not just setting up, getting rid of the distractions, but how are you going to spend that hour the creative way?
That's a great point. I haven't thought about that. My focus has been I need to spend the time, but I never really thought about
It's a chore. You get it? It's a chore.
Yes. Yeah.
It's not a desire. It's not, okay, this is really important. when you try to make a shift? How do you turn it into not being a chore?